Hello and welcome to this new version of YAG. That's version 0.12.3 and it's a content update. I have a lot to show here, so I thought it would be nice to make the introduction speech with this Carboniferous forest, which is one of the new voxel themes. This one is just the little sister of a new tropical forest that I'll fully show later in this video, and from which I extracted the ferns to make this more primitive looking forest, which I populated with 200 creatures to make this beautiful prehistoric scene. So apart from that, we have a few new monsters, 4 new voxel themes, namely a tropical forest with 3 variations, a northern forest, a bleak swampy plain, and a beautiful hand-painted forest that I put in the sci-fi section. Finally, we have 2 new dungeon themes, a sci-fi temple and a large castle with 2 variations that are a bit special and will require a few explanations at the end of this video. So let's start with the traditional monster parade here. So we begin with a new version of the Gorgon Medusa, and it comes with 2 versions, human and snake body. Each of them has a lot of variation, dress, armor, and colors, and each of them has a full tray actually of variations. Then we have a new Minotaur. Again, it comes with many new colors. And here we have a new chess, and it's very beautiful if you come and look closer. And oh no, it's not a chess, it's a mimic. So we can welcome in YAG this very old classic from D&D. It's a very fun monster. And I have something to tell about that one. It comes with a very cool and very funny death animation, but unfortunately I decided not to put it in YAG, and instead of the dead animation, we have a closing animation. I thought it would be more useful in YAG, because that way you can, surprise the player when they carelessly approach the chest for a good loot. So you just have to kill or resurrect the chest to close or open it. Okay, so very, very cool monster. I really love it. Then we have a new troll that comes with many different variation of colors. We have a new carnivorous plant, and I love carnivorous plants, so this one is very beautiful. Again, lots of colors with it. New mushroom as well, kind of aggressive one, and again, a lot of colors for that one. The new golem is also very interesting and useful, because a bit like the mimic, when it dies, it just looks like an inanimate object, a pile of rock. And so you can surprise the player by putting a few piles of rocks everywhere. You can even, have a wizard surrounding by rocks, and it looks an easy kill. But when they approach the wizard, it casts a spell, and suddenly all the rocks become golems, and the situation is much less pleasant. So, kind of cool monster. Then we have a new arachnoid mutant horror. I love them, so this is one more. We have a new devil with variations in horns and armors, a very nice one. A new little demon that comes again with many colors. We have new giant worms, again a few colors variations, so that's very cool new monsters. And finally we have the king of creatures, a new dragon in YAG. This one is very complete because it comes fully equipped with a saddle and bridle, so that's super cool. It comes with a few variations of colors, the native brown and then red, green, and we have a blue one. It comes also with only bridle and no saddle, and that can be very useful because, again, I'm going to advertise this button. Where is it? Here in YAG. Never forget to use that button, which add variations to all creatures. And for this one, it will take away the bridle. So you see, you can have the fully wild animal if you want it. You can have the partly tamed animal if it is ridden by barbarians or uncivilized tribes with only the bridle, and then you have the full bridle plus saddle dragon for civilized people. Okay, so very nice creature, and of course it breathes fire, as every well-educated dragon should. Okay, so that's it for the monsters. Now let's load the tropical forest. Where is it? I call it the jungle T-Rex. You'll know why in an instant, or you can see the T-Rex here. Okay, so just have a look at how amazingly beautiful that tropical forest is. It has many layers of foliage, as you can see here. Okay, really, really beautiful, beautiful one. It's, in my opinion, the most beautiful forest currently available in Yak. So let's quickly have a look at the T-Rex, the T-Rex here. Okay, you can see that you can obtain a very nice Jurassic scenery by putting a few prehistoric monsters in that forest. Okay, very nice one. And again, that forest is just stunningly beautiful with its 3 layers of foliage and incredibly nice. I really love it. Of course, I added a bit of fog here. And as a reminder, this full version here has 3 variations. So this one, the tropical jungle, it has the carboniferous forest that you saw in the introduction of the video, and it also has a palm forest, and both those ones are just subset of the set of 3 that compose this one. But here it is in its full glory, and it's absolutely amazing. Really the most beautiful forest I have here. Um, really amazing. Okay, next we have a sort of new sci-fi option with the sci-fi temple, in which I put a new forest that comes in YAG, and I told you about it. It's hand painted. I find it absolutely beautiful, you know, a bit on the psychedelic side of things, so to speak, but it fits very well a sci-fi environment. And then we have that dungeon, that new dungeon theme, which doesn't belong to any human period really. So I put it in the sci-fi section, but it's very nice. I put, yes, this is a space woman here, just to show you that I put very high walls, like 15 meters, I think, something like that, and that makes any humans look very small, and looking small, feeling small is part of the adventurous feeling. So this is a very nice environment, and it fits very well that forest here. Right, it also comes with that forest, which I put here, where it is in the sci-fi stuff. I call it the dreamy forest, okay? And it comes with a bioluminescent version, so I prepared also a save with that new version, in which I have illuminated the temple. I, of course, switch off the light completely, illuminated the temple, and you can see now the bioluminescent forest. Instead of a space woman, I did put an elf, so you can see that this temple could also very well be an elvish architecture, because you know elvish is not dead, if I may say. And we can have a little walk in those bioluminescent wood, or by the way, have a look at the temple, you know, when it's not, oops, sorry, you know, in bluish colors here. But let's quickly have a walk in that beautiful bioluminescent forest. Okay, and here, so very nice environment with the temple and the forest here in plain night. Okay, next we have a new dungeon theme, and this one is a bit special. It's a castle, but it has a very large architecture. Let me show you that by showing you a human being inside that one. And this was not possible previously in YAG, and it's now possible. And I'm going to have to spend a few minutes on that one, because I have something important to explain about its size. Before the voxels, the only way to have a natural environment around the dungeon was to use the surrounding themes here. Okay. And because I wanted to allow every possible mix between dungeons and surroundings, I had to normalize the size of the dungeon cells. So each dungeon cell in YAG until now was a 4 by 4 meter. And that was cool because it allowed any combination of dungeons and surrounding, but it did put a very serious constraint on the size of dungeon. To help you understand that, let me show you this picture. I'm going to increase its size here. Okay. On the left, we have a regular 4 by 4 dungeon, by which I mean a dungeon made of 4 by 4 meters cells in brown, and its surrounding theme in gray. And they fit perfectly, obviously, because they were made to fit. On the right, we have a 12 by 12 dungeon, which is this castle theme. And you can see that the 4 by 4 assets in the surrounding theme are now too small to fill the 12 by 12 size. Okay, so I have two ways to fix that. Either I duplicate the surrounding themes, all of them, with their 12 by 12 version, and I do this for every new dungeon size, which would be very tedious and frankly quite stupid, or I forbid the use of surroundings with non-standard dungeons, which wasn't acceptable when there was no other solution. So the dungeons were doomed to be 4 by 4 dungeons for all eternity. But then the voxel came along and they offer a much richer and wider range of possibilities for surroundings, regardless of the size of the dungeon, making, in my opinion, the current surrounding dungeon themes completely obsolete and useless. I currently let them in YAG nonetheless for historical reasons, but I'm probably not going to add any more of them. But now that we can have a nice environment without the use of surrounding dungeon themes, I can create dungeon with different cell sizes, and this opens a lot of new exciting doors for the dungeon themes. And this castle is just the first one, but other will come. Of course, we have to create the surroundings with the voxels, and I know this can be intimidating, so let me show you how simply it's done. So for this video, I made a flat dungeon because adding height would add a bit more work and time, but the principle would remain the same of what I'm going to show you. So first, we are going to add the terrain by choosing a new voxel theme available in YAG, the Bleak Swamp Plain here, and by making it flat as well, going here and putting the height to 0. Okay. And let's create this one. So you can see that we have two problems here. The first one is a clipping problem because the dungeon ground and the voxel ground has the same altitude. So we are going to fix that very, very easily by just putting the voxels 5 centimeters down. So minus 0.05 here. And there, the first problem is solved. As you can see, we have now a clean ground for the castle. The second problem, obviously, is the presence of foliage all over the ground of the castle, which can be a cool style, but it's not what we want in this dungeon here. So let me show you quickly how to remove that. I'm going to take a bit of altitude here, then call back the voxel the window, go into edit mode, okay, and then choose the surface tool, then choose the painting tool. You know, you have the sculpting tool and the painting tool, so you select the painting one, and then you choose the eraser, and the eraser effect is that it will switch off the channel for the foliage. Okay, so with all that done, you can now just increase the size of the brush and paint everywhere the foliage off. Okay, so let's start here, and you can see the foliage disappearing everywhere I go. So here I'm doing a very, very quick and dirty job. But you can imagine that by reducing the size of the brush and going down a little bit, you could make a more precise and more pleasant job. Okay, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to make that in a few seconds. But if you spend like 2 minutes instead of 10 seconds, you will get a much cleaner and much nicer result. Okay, so you see that not much. That's not much. We can now leave the edit mode and come back into our character, and you can see that the floor is now completely clean and very nice. Okay, so that's a very nice giant theme. All right, and of course, if you want to, now that the painting is done, now that we have painted off the foliage, we can very easily change the theme. For example, let's try the large poplar here and apply. And you can see that in a matter of seconds, we completely changed the mood, the atmosphere of the castle here. Okay, very nice one. And by the way, all the assets that are used to make this castle are available in a tray. Where is it? Here, medieval. Okay, that's the second castle tray here, in which you will find all the assets and even more. You can see we have a few bridges that are not in the theme here, and which you can use to customize your castle. For example, here I'm going to take a flag, put it on the top of the tower, and you can see that in a matter of seconds we got a very nice castle in the wood with clean ground. Okay, obviously here you see that I could make a very much better job by taking a minute or two to paint off that part also, but generally you can see that it's very easy to get a theme with a nice surrounding, okay, without the use of the dungeon surrounding themes that are here. Okay, so now that you know how it's done, the only thing that is left for me to show you is the last scene that I prepared with the ruined version of that castle, and it will be very quick. I call it, where is it? The Dragon and Ruins here. So it's the ruined version of that castle with the new theme, voxel theme, which is the, oops, sorry. Camera is a bit fast here. So with the new northern forest, that's the new theme for the voxel. Where is it? Northern forest here. Northern forest. Okay, so that's this one, and you can see that it works well, and you can see the size of the ruins here that are amazingly beautiful. Okay, so there is really a lot of room for adventure. And of course here I didn't make any painting of, because it's very cool for ruins when the foliage high has taken over, when the vegetation has taken over. And here you can see, just to give you an idea of the scale, I put a rider on the dragon. Okay, Medusa here, and you can see that we can have a very, very nice scene. And lots of adventure in that kind of scenery. Okay, very, very beautiful ruins, ancient ruins, and giant one. Okay, so on this beautiful scene, I'm going to end this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching it until the end, and if you liked it, then hopefully see you in the next. Thank you very much, and bye.